Greetings, it's an honor to be with you today. And today the topic is all things to all men. That's right, all things to all men. All right. I'm reading from the book of First Corinthians chapter 9, and I'm reading verses 19 to 22, and it says this. For though I be free from all men, yet have I made myself servant unto all, that I might gain the more. And unto the Jews I became as a Jew, that I might gain the Jews. To them that are under the law, as under the law, that I may gain them that are under the law. To them that are without law, as without law, being not without law to God, but under the law to Christ, that I may gain them that are without law. To the weak became I as weak, that I might gain the weak. And there's a colon there, I love those. He says, I am made all things to all men, that I might by all means save some. The reading of God's word is wonderfully blessed already. Now, this to me is a wonderful topic, and of course verse 22 is where we get the topic or the title, all things to all men. Now, when I look at this passage, there's a few things that I pick up instantaneously. First of all, I don't believe that the Apostle Paul is talking about compromising integrity. That's the first thing. But I believe what he's simply talking about is showing humility. And I believe when you look at what's happening in our world, especially in the church world now, there seems to be a compromise to get those that are outside of God's gates into the kingdom. And what that has led to is a lot of integrity issues. And I believe that's a problem, because at the end of the day, if there's one thing we can be certain of, although they may not be in the church or in the kingdom, they know those that are in the kingdom. If you understand what I'm saying, there's a level of standard that even the world has for those that proclaim the name of Christ. So when we compromise our integrity, well, we see no problem with laying down our morals and our standards to appease the world. We have to understand that we're actually losing them with that type of engagement. So the Apostle Paul, I don't believe for one moment he's talking about compromising your integrity. What I believe he's talking about is humility. It's a different thing. When we're looking at it from the perspective of being humble and exhibiting humility, we see that those that are humble tend to walk in the love of God, and they tend to attract those that are in search or searching for something. They're searching for answers, they're searching for direction. And if there is nothing that confirms this, look at verse 22. He says, to the weak became I as weak, that I may gain the weak. He's showing adaptability. He's speaking about circumstance. And I believe that it's important for us to be able to identify with those that are going through. Now, there's some other things that I picked up. I believe the question we should ask ourselves is, what does this individual need me to be today? I just used the weak for an example. When somebody is weak, they need somebody that can identify. Now, God help you if you can't identify. You can find somebody that can. But we've got to understand that when people are in a certain position in life, they need somebody that can bear witness with them. And bearing witness doesn't necessarily mean that you are at that point of weakness, if we're using the weak person, but you can identify with once being weak, and now you are the product of God's deliverance. So now you're saying to that person, I was once where you were, and look at what God did. So we've got to be able to bear witness with folk, to help them to get out of their calamities, out of their situations, because people need people that can bear witness with them. And last of all, I think we should be prepared to become a listening ear to the depressed. And sometimes that's all people need. Quite often, although money answers all things, money isn't feasible in every situation, especially when you're dealing with depression. Now, maybe later on in the conversation, money can enter the equation, but right there at the moment when that person is on the cliff, they don't necessarily need money. They need a listening ear. They need a confidant, somebody that's going to pull them off the ledge. Have you ever tried to pull somebody off the ledge with money? I don't know, but it helps. I'm talking about literal now. I'm not talking about the mention of it, of course. I'm talking about using money as a means to naturally, hold on to this $100 bill. Hold on to that till you come. No, what they need is an extended hand. They need somebody that's humane, that's going to be right there in the moment and help them through their mess. I'm thinking about Job and his friends, and I believe that Job, because he was once wealthy, I believe that his friends, were wealthy also. This is just my belief. And I believe that they probably had enough to probably help him off that ledge. But there comes a point where we have to realize that that the problems that we encounter and deal with are not natural matters entirely, but they have a root spiritually, and we need people that are spiritual, that are going to be able to tap in to those areas in our lives. We need people that are walking in discernment, that can discern and say, what does my brother, what does my sister, what does this brother, this sister need in their moment of need. So I want to challenge us today, even as we move forward, looking toward 2025, that we become all things to all men. This is the great ministry that God has given each and every believer, which is called the ministry of reconciliation. Let's be all things to all men.